Breast cancer, a crucial catch. Hi, I'm Big O and this is Big Tiz from Steeler Nation Live. Here at Steeler Nation Live, we are asking for your help in the fight against breast cancer. A crucial catch campaign has begun in the month of October to reach out for women to get tested as early as 40 years old.
Throughout the month of October, players and referees will be wearing pink in hopes that more people will become aware. All of the items that the players wear will be auctioned off. Out of all of the pink NFL items purchased, 100% of the proceeds will go to the American Cancer Society.
In closing, we hope you join us in this fight against breast cancer. Go to NFLshop.com and order your official NFL Pink gear. Or text NFL Pink to 41518. That's 41518 to donate $10 to the American Cancer Society. Together, we can win this battle. And I'm Big O.
I'm Big Tiz. Welcome to Steeler Nation Live. Big Tiz.
I'm Big O.
Hey guys, the Steelers did it again. You know what? There's happy joy in Steeler Nation land, and we're all excited about it. So we're gonna get right into it in a couple minutes. But first, we want to talk a little bit about the breast cancer awareness going on this month in October for the NFL, and here for Steeler Nation Live, we like to represent the breast cancer awareness as well.
Absolutely. What I think is awesome what the NFL is doing this year and they've been doing for the past couple of years is a campaign called the Crucial Catch. And what that means is you want to catch this before it gets too late, before it gets to a point where it's you can't turn back. There's no turning back. So a crucial catch is what it is. It's crucial that the women find out if they have something or if they don't have anything. So please, women, get tested. If you're 38, if you're 40, if you don't even if you don't have a history of cancer in your family, we all know somebody who's been affected by this horrible disease, whether it's a coworker or a family member or a friend. So we ask that you join us in this fight against breast cancer. We have moms, sisters, grandmoms, cousins, nieces. We all want you around. So please, Steeler Nation Live, we're almost begging you to go get tested, please.
Hey, like I said, well said, Big O. And we want you guys to let everybody else out there know that we will be behind you 100% on that. But you know what? The show must go on, and we're going to go on talking about the Steelers' fabulous win against the Ravens.
Against those rat birds, dirty birds,
yes,
whatever you want to call them. We beat them. And it wasn't like a sound victory. It wasn't, we went out there, we didn't crush them. We won the game. And Mike Tomlin always says, no style points for wins.
Exactly. But you know what? They came to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh did what they had to do. Beat them right in their own house, which is a big win. Pittsburgh kicked them on a sorrowful kick.
That's right.
Back down to Baltimore. So you know what? And that was a big win that had to have happen in our own home turf, because you didn't want to go back to Baltimore trying to have to win that next game, which is going to be coming up in a couple weeks. Not a couple weeks, but in a little bit.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving night.
Right. So any victory is a good victory, is a huge victory, especially from a division rival like the Baltimore Ravens. And like I alluded to a few minutes ago, you could win by 1 point or 100 points. It doesn't matter. When you look at the win-loss column, you see a win. It doesn't matter what the point spread was, or a win is a win. And it was a great win. I feel I would rather beat these guys in last-second fashion than to destroy them like a couple years ago in opening day, what the Ravens did to us. They came in our home 35-3 or something ridiculous like that. A blowout is a blowout, but it hurts more when you work so hard, you give it your all for 60 minutes, and you lose in the last second to a field goal kicker. I think that hurts the most.
Well, you know what? I'm going to touch base quickly on some of the things that happened in the game because we're going to get more in depth in it as the show goes on. But you know what? It was a well-rounded game by the Steelers, and I must say, you know, they still have some things they have to work on, but they did show a lot of promise in this game. And, you know, divisional games are always tough anyway. So they're playing Baltimore. They both know each other. So this type of game is everybody knows it's going to be around this type of game. A close game, 16-16, 19-16, 3 points, 10 points. It really doesn't step from out of that normalcy from that with those two playing each other. But it was a tough battle. I mean, Pittsburgh could have scored a little bit more points than they did. Some points were squandered away, you know, a drop in the back of the end zone. Yeah. So, you know, but they outlasted. And that's one thing I'm proud about the Steelers, that they played it 60 minutes and they played it hard.
That's right, because you alluded to division rivalries. You can kick everybody's butt in the rest of the league. But when you come to your division, what makes these games so tough is because you play each other so often during the season.
Right.
So you know how each other plays. Like last season we played the lowly Browns. They gave us good games. They beat us. And why? Because they're a better team? No, because they're division rivals. They know us, we know them, and it just comes down to the final gun sounding off. It's who's going to win this game.
Exactly.
So it's tough no matter what. And you get the two top defenses in the NFL. You get the Steelers and the Ravens, and the offenses are mediocre at best right now. I don't believe Flacco has thrown for more than 2 touchdown passes in the past 5 games the Steelers have played, or has he passed over for 200 yards. So, and the same thing with Roethlisberger. He hasn't passed for over more than 200 yards because it's a physical ground game attack. We only go to the air if we have to. And that's why these are low-scoring games, tough defensive games.
Right. And that's one of the things. Actually, one thing I was actually happy about in that game as well was the fact of Bell. Bell's running the ball hard and running it effectively. This guy, I mean, he did everything he could in that game to get first downs. I love the different formations the Steelers are starting to run now in their game plan. So things are starting to come along, just like we said in various broadcasts, that how things are starting to come along in small doses, but they're coming.
That's right. We have a long time. We have 10 games left of the regular season. And let's look back at the first game. We won't talk about preseason and how slowly but steadily we were climbing that ladder to success. 0-4. We didn't give up.
Right.
Nor did the Steelers give up. And I'm sure the fans out there, we're hearing a lot from you. You're upset. You're not happy, but you're not giving up either, because that's how teams fold. When you don't want to throw the towel in too soon. And we alluded to the Jets game, how important that was, how vital that was to the Pittsburgh's season. The rest of the season was huge. The impact. We came out with a win. You got a little confidence boost. You shouldn't really need it. But at this point, when you're 0-4, you need any kind of help. And now we beat the Ravens, so now your confidence level is getting higher. Not to mention from the game 1, how we had absolutely no defense, no offense, and we're slowly getting back into the game, like you said, Big Tiz.
Yeah, and a lot of things the Steelers are starting to do correct. And like I said, everything's going to take time. It's a work in progress, and we take it game by game. So that's what the Steelers seem like they're actually getting into that mode of doing. You know what, guys? We're gonna go to a commercial break. But when we go to commercial, we're gonna actually bring in Rudy Rude Dog Reyes. The Steelers gonna be traveling to California this week anyway for the game. So who's more adequate to talk about it than Rudy Rude Dog Reyes? Next up on Steeler Nation Live.
We'll be right back, folks.
We head from our Rochester, New York studios of Steeler Nation Live out west to California, checking out our new addition to the show, Rudy Rude Dog Reyes. Man, this guy's live. We gotta meet him here on Steeler Nation Live. Rudy, how are things going with you today on Steeler Nation Live?
Good afternoon, Big Tiz, Big O. This is Rudy Rude Dog Reyes out here in Southern California. Hey, good afternoon, guys. Wanted to give you an overall view of my thoughts on the game as it transpired. We were solid from beginning to end, except for a few minor discombobulations on Heath Miller when he fumbled that ball headed out of the red zone, which turned into Baltimore's favor when they were able to score some points off of that. Other than that, Le'Veon Bell had a great game. Not quite what I was looking for in the yardage after catch. or even yards after the line of scrimmage run through. Otherwise, it was an excellent display. Offensive line held the defense of the Baltimore Ravens, even though they were considered next to last in stopping the run. So Big Tiz, Big O, a very solid game on the defensive line, minus Jarvis Jones, which did not show up due to concussion issues and symptoms that kept him out of starting the game, much less being in the game. However, William Gay showed up very well on an break-off play to prevent a 6 from Flacco as he was headed out of bounds, which is one excellent play. Woodley on one sack. Defense did what they were supposed to. They definitely contained the wide receivers. However, on that first possession in the second half, I didn't really care much for the dink and dunk, but it was working against our primary. Couldn't stop the run. Troy Polamalu on the defensive side as well was able to come up with some pretty good plays. One preemptive strike over the top. He did a great job. Again, overall, a great win in our division. We're 1-0 there in regards to the Ravens this season. See what happens with the rest of the season. Next up, we have the Oakland Raiders. So let's go Steelers. And I got one word, and you know what that is, Steeler Nation. It's Pittsburgh.
Uniform Express, located on 1408 Buffalo Road, Rochester, New York, for your police, fire, or EMS supplies. One of Rochester's top and finest suppliers of shirts, pants, shoes, boots, and accessories for your professional uniform needs. Uniform Express also does embroidery and screen print for team uniforms, jerseys, and corporations. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also go to their website at www.uniformexpress.com or call Brian at 585-529-4245. That's 585-529-4245. And let Brian know you heard his ad on our show, Steeler Nation Live.
Welcome back, Steeler Nation Live. Big Tiz.
Big O.
Hey guys, you know what? We want to thank Rudy Rude Dog Reyes for doing another phenomenal job, giving us the feedback of what's going out there on the west coast of the country, letting us all know, getting that Steeler love for them, trying to get the feedback of how they're feeling out there, especially with the black and gold heading west this week.
Man, to the black and gray, black and silver. And what is that? What is that part of the? What do they have going on in Oakland with the crazed dressed up people? You know, we have the dog pound in Cleveland, and you got the cheese heads and.
Well, they're more like I believe it's like a pirate type setup, if I'm correct. You know, the black is silver, half the face black is silver. They got a lot of crazy stuff going on out there. And these guys, you know, from back in the 70s, they were always a physical type bunch. And they used to go at it with us, and, you know, we'd win some, they'd win some. So, you know, every year is a different type of battle. That's why we just had to play Baltimore, another type of battle.
Yes.
But you know what? It's going to be a phenomenal game this week against them, and they're no slouch. So we got to get that straight out the way. But you know what? In the Steelers game, just against the Baltimore Ravens, the hated Baltimore Ravens.
That's right.
There were a lot of things that went right. There were a lot of things that went wrong. Big O, let me start off with what went wrong in this game. Granted, there weren't a lot, but there were some things.
Oh, yeah. Key issues, penalties. Once again, too many penalties. We had the face masking penalty against Bell, which really I don't know. I guess stiff arming is a penalty sometimes. You had if you're an NFL referee out there, call in, text us, send us a Facebook message. Let us know why this was a penalty. I didn't understand. He didn't grab the mask. He didn't yank it down.
Right.
He's a running back. He can't put his head down. He can't lower his head. He's got to run up straight up like a stick person. But to elude a tackle, you could put your hand on somebody's helmet in an effort to break away from him. He didn't grab. He didn't pull. He didn't yank. But there's all right.
I mean, I'm with you on that. I can't understand it myself.
All right, folks. I'm sure NFL fans out there, you're a Steeler fan, you're an NFL fan. I just want to, do a little sidebar here. Get off. If you watch a Jets-Patriots game, or you heard about the Jets-Patriots game, tick, 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 tick. Clock's winding down. Jets are going to kick a 52-yard field goal and win this game, hopefully, or send it in overtime. Yeah, it was a send. No.
Well, it was. Yeah, it was gonna. The Jets were going on it for the win. For
the win.
Yeah, right.
You missed, it's overtime.
Right.
Okay. Kicked the field goal, missed it miserably, but there's a flag on the play. Unsportsmanship-like conduct, pushing. Now, for those folks of you at home, we don't have any video on it right now, and for folks on listening to it on TalkShoe, basically what it is the defense is lining up to block the field goal. You have your defender on the offender on the offensive line, and you're head up blocking. Now, the defender has somebody behind him, and you're helping him push through the line in hopes to block the field goal.
Right.
So this is a new rule that the NFL instated at the beginning of the season. 6 games ago, this is the first and only time it's been called. Hey, we're in New York. You're playing the division rival Pats. 15 yards, folks. 15-yard penalty. Now a 52-yard field goal is now what, a 38-yard field goal?
Right.
Jets re-kick, win the game. We want to hear back your feedback, folks. Was this ridiculous or what? I know it has nothing to do with us right now. It might have some playoff potential down the road.
Right.
But, I mean, if you're going to call a penalty like that, you got to do it from day one, and you got to do it all the time. Because, folks, watch any game where there's a field goal attempt, you will see this every play. And on the offensive side of the ball, how many times have you seen a running back get stopped at the goal line and everybody's pushing him in the end zone? That's a penalty as well.
That's never a lot.
It's never called. It's never called. All right, enough of that. But you know what I'm getting at with the BS penalties, okay? It's a family show. I can't really say it. So I can use initials. But, 7 penalties is 7 too many. Now, the Ravens had 9 penalties. Well, that's average for them because they're dirty birds. But we start off the season 3 penalties, 4 penalties. We were doing really good.
Right.
Now we're starting to get away from that. Now we're getting to 7, the 8, the 9 penalties per game. We won 2 games, but you know what? These penalties could kill us and give us a loss.
Right.
So, and what about turnovers, Big Tiz?
Turnovers, well, we just had the one that we had, which wasn't bad. It was a good hit. Heath Miller lost it, and things happen. And the defense held up. Only gave away a field goal, which I was very proud of those guys. I was like, okay, you know what? This is the time when you start getting those backbreaker type things.
Right.
Where, they get a cheap touchdown from something like this. But the defense held. That bend, don't break mentality. And they held. But the Steelers as well, we didn't get any turnovers.
We didn't create any.
Right.
No. And that's something we have to build on. We had 2 last game, which were great, 2 interceptions.
Right. Could have had more, though, last game.
Could have had more. Clark and Timmons. Timmons falling back in the coverage. And he got his interception. But we have to create more, and that didn't happen. So that it's not that something that didn't go wrong.
Right.
It's just when you don't do these, things can go wrong. So, and you also alluded earlier about the drop touchdown. It wasn't like it was a hard to catch ball. It was I could have caught it. You could have caught it. Big
right. Yeah, it was a beautiful throw by Ben. I mean, he was right on the money with it and just dropped it. And that's another thing the Steelers have to. You got to take control of these different situations. When you're in a situation like this where you can put the game on ice, the Steelers have to have that killer mentality.
Yeah, especially in the red zone. You have to create more touchdown opportunities instead of field goals. Field goals are not bad. And like I said last year, field goals like kissing your sister. It's cute, but you want to put 7 on the board. You want them to come back and have to at least, equal that.
Right.
Not if you kick a field goal, they come back and score a touchdown. Now you're playing catch up.
Exactly.
So, and also what killed us, almost lost the game for us, was we have to be tougher on 3rd downs. We have to get 3 and outs from the other team. And the last drive that Baltimore, drove down the field to tie the game, granted, it could have been stopped several times. 3rd and longs, 3rd and longs, 3rd and longs. But usually when we fall into this, it's because of a penalty. Right. That gives them the first down. This didn't actually happen. It was just the lack of defending on the final drive. Maybe the defense was hoping to hold them to a field goal, but touchdown tied it up. So we have to stop teams on 3rd downs. We have to do that.
That is huge, and I agree with you totally on that. That 3rd down conversion rate has to drop down a little. I mean, we did okay in this game against the Baltimore Ravens, but those 3rd downs, those are very crucial, and especially We got to keep them in third and longs, and we got to stop them picking up huge chunks of yards on third and long. That's another thing.
I think we do better on third and short than we do on third and long.
Yeah, you're right.
And I do believe the Ravens were at 50% on third down conversions yesterday. So, you know what? We're not perfect. Like we said earlier, we're getting better. We just want to get the wrong things, the bad things out of the way. And let's go right straight into the things that went right, Big Tiz.
Exactly. And there were a lot. Like I said, the Steelers, they play stout defense. I mean, they forced Flacco into a lot of bad throws, which sometimes the way he's playing as of late, it doesn't seem like that's too hard, but there was pressure. There was pressure.
I believe we had one sack during the game, but a lot of hits because Flacco's the type of quarterback who won't take the sack, but he won't throw that ill-advised interception. He'll throw the ball away, which you've got to commend him. I mean, he's a very good quarterback, especially in our division. So he gets the ball, he gets rid of the ball, whether it's out of bounds or whatnot. He's a very smart quarterback. Won't take the sack, won't give that bad interception. So that forced. The reason why he was thrown was because our defense stopped the run.
Right.
Ray Rice had less than 50 yards, I believe. I think the whole total, the rushing attack for the Baltimore Ravens was under 100 yards.
Exactly. And as we said in the show earlier, when we previewed this game, we talked about as the key right there was to stop Ray Rice. Because if you can control Ray Rice and keep his yardage real short, then they have nothing else left to do but pass. And they're not that big of a passing team as they were like maybe last year when these guys have a lot of pieces lost to their puzzle, just as Pittsburgh does. But you know what? We won it, and we have to stay in it 60 minutes to win a game. That's
right. And the thing that got the Ravens through last year with their passing attack was their size of their wide receivers.
Right.
Average of 6'4" for a wide receiver, and with speed and can catch. So basically, what Flacco was doing last year was just throwing the ball up and hoping that they would catch it. And they did a pretty good job in Denver with their small cornerbacks and their small safeties. Like, we don't have the greatest, tallest safeties.
Right.
We use more of skill, technical skill, as height, and we use our speed and skill.
Right. Exactly.
So that went well. We also controlled the game. We only punted, I believe, one time, Big Tiz. If you look at the time of possession, I believe the Steelers had the ball for 31 minutes and the Ravens had for 29. So just by looking at that, our offense was out there running the ball. Their offense was out there running the ball, controlling the clock. And that's a key, a huge key to victory, a huge key to success when you're controlling that clock, even though it was pretty much equal.
Right.
But if you're not scoring touchdowns, it's out for a good game. Hard defensive battle.
And one of the things that you can see now, too, is that Haley's offense, that type of offense he wanted to run, and it took a while to get it going, but as you can see with the short dink and dunk type yardage passing and then trying to open it up, you can see that starting to come. And, picking up short yardage, 4-5 yards, every time a pop, it's going to get you a first down. And you add that run in there. So like I can see to where his offense is trying to work and is coming to that point. And actually, let's get to the one part that did go right as well. The line blocking was phenomenal yesterday.
Not too bad. And when you open up plays like the special plays, like the shuffle pass to Heath Miller, the only touchdown for us, but it was a well organized play. Miller was pulling, looked like he was going to block, got the shuffle pass, the line opened up a hole, and you could have drove a truck through it. That's what we're building on. That's what we're expecting. When we talk about, we constantly talk about it all the time, because from game one to where we're at now, we're increasing slowly. We don't want to rush anything. We don't want to screw anything up. We don't want to hurry anything.
Right.
Haley and Tomlin, they have a method to their madness. And we just got to be patient, folks. We're not going to have any blowout victories this year. I can guarantee that right now.
Right.
But a win is a win. And whatever it takes, we're going to do this.
Exactly.
Slowly. And Haley's offense is slowly coming around. Ben is getting the ball out of his hands quicker. If you notice from game one to game now, he's not holding on to the ball as long as he used to.
Right, which is good. So like I said, that dink and dunk type offense is something that'll help that. You know what I mean? Trying to get the ball out of your hands quick. And he's starting to gel to that, and especially because he's older. Ben is getting older. He can't take those hits. Get that ball out of your hand quickly.
Right. He doesn't have the zip to it like he used to.
Right.
Where I think he's coming around to realizing that I can't get the ball in between 3 defenders anymore. I have to, place the ball. I have to look for open zones, and I think that's what he's doing as well. Let's not forget about a running game. Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon likes his money, and he's making his money now. If we get the offense to block just as good as they did last game, but let's get a little better, he's going to score these touchdowns.
Right.
But we'll get later in the show, we'll get to the stats. I believe he had almost rushed for 100 yards. He was 7 yards short, no touchdowns, but the majority of those yards he did was on his own.
Right. And some of the plays were Wildcat plays too, which was phenomenal. Who do you go after? You go after Antonio Brown, or you go after the running back with the ball? I mean, it's amazing, and I love it. And the Steelers are trying to open up the playbook.
Yeah, let's do a couple more trick plays, like you give it to Brown or Sanders. Let them throw it to Heath Miller. Let them throw it to Paulson, who they're not going to expect to get the ball.
Exactly.
Or Moye, who's going to be wide open.
Just gotta hold on to the ball.
That's right. We just got to slowly involve these plays, folks. And this is just be patient. Be patient.
Hey, and
it's working.
One other thing that went well, to say things that went right, was the special teams. The special teams of the Steelers, all facets, it went well in that game. And like I said, that the punting area went well, and also, as you can see, Sanders almost returned that back.
Okay, all right. Watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's tie score. Less than 2 minutes left to go in the game. They kick a squibber into the end zone. Honestly, I want your honest opinion. When you saw him running out of the end zone, what were your thoughts? Tiz, go.
What the hell are you doing?
Unbelievable. All I heard was no. Go. And I honestly don't believe his heel touched that line.
I don't think his heel did either.
From the angle, they show that one angle shot out of all those cameras in that stadium. One angle shot. If you at the angle, looks like his heel is over the line, but you can't tell if the heel is over or touching. So that's inconclusive.
Yeah, it was kind of hard because, like I said, I was either looking for, if it wasn't a touchdown, I was like, okay, is there any flags? Because we'll do something to kill our own selves. So as of late, and I didn't see any flags, so I was like, oh my gosh, did he actually take this back? I but you know what? Things happened. The Steelers held on. They drove from that point, picked up first downs, and basically ran the game out.
Yeah, it reminded me of the Steelers of old. Not to get too dramatic, like the Super Bowl victory, that last drive, because we were tied. It wasn't like we were down and we just needed points to get in there. But it was a great drive. A lot of third downs, going to the wide receiver with the short pass, get the ball out, get the ball in the middle, get a couple of yards here, get a couple of yards there.
Right.
But Antonio Brown did a great job run with yards after the catch. That's another thing that's improving.
Tell me if that wasn't a big, you Steeler fans, you tell me yourself if that wasn't a big thing to keep Antonio Brown and let Mike Wallace go. And I know when that happened, a lot of people were kind of burnt about it. But as you can see, he's the much better of the two.
Yeah, when you have 6 Super Bowl trophies sitting in your lobby, in your building, somebody's doing something right. And we all might not understand it at first.
Right.
Why? But when you walk in that foyer, that wherever the trophies are, and you see, just getting back to like years ago, was it Mendenhall or was it Parker? I can't remember who was crying about, getting the ball, running the ball more. And I remember Tomlin saying, I think it was Mendenhall. He said, when I look at that trophy case, I don't see rushing titles. I see Super Bowl trophies. And that's what we're here for. This is a team effort. We're going to win. We need to win Super Bowls. He didn't care about rushing titles, even though that's great if you do. Don't get me wrong. That's a great thing to have. But Tomlin and the Steelers are more concerned about getting that trophy case another Super Bowl trophy, not a rushing title. So that all goes good in hand.
Exactly.
So it all come together. So I do believe the front office knows what they're doing. So you have to be patient. You might scratch your head a couple times, but you know what? It's early in the season, and there's a method to Tomlin's madness, and there's a method to the Rudy's madness.
Exactly. Hey guys, you know what? While we're on this, things that went right, Big O, let's step into some of the stats of this game versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, they scored the 16 points. The Steelers basically held them until they gave up that touchdown late in the fourth quarter, but that
was a great play action play. I mean, he could have even if he, by looking at the tape in the game, watching the game, if he handed it off, there was a great chance that he would have scored anyways because his momentum. I think Woodley was the only linebacker out there to stop him. Would have been tough, would have been close, but you can't watch everybody. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think it was Vonta Leach that was the
fullback. Yeah.
So you can't cover everybody. You got the zone defense there with the goal line blitz. What are you gonna do? But
I mean, and if you look at these stats, guys, I mean, these are like almost identical. That's how tough this game was for the Steelers. That's how physical they both play each other. But the Steelers had 286 yards of total offense to the Ravens 287. Wow.
That's pretty darn close, Big Tiz.
Penalties 7. The Steelers 7 for 50. The Ravens 9 for 67. Isn't that something? Like I said, almost mirror images of each other. Turnovers. The Steelers, well, they lost in that one. They had the one turnover, and the Ravens didn't have any at all.
Right, but even you can't put the ball on the ground. You can't win games when you turn the ball over. And this was fortunate for us that this fumble came at a time where it wasn't crucial.
Right.
The defense held, like you alluded earlier, only giving up a field goal, which that's 3 points. You look at the score; it's a tie ball game. But we can't turn the ball over. We have to create turnovers.
Exactly.
And we talked earlier about the time possession, a couple seconds apart, minute and a half. I mean, it's just like a mirror image of each other. We should even have to put compare the stats because they're basically the same thing, other than the one turnover.
Exactly. Well, the time possession, the Steelers had it for 31 minutes and 1 second, and Ravens 29 minutes and 29 minutes flat, excuse me. So, I mean, everything, the comparisons are like, wow, and it's unbelievable. Roethlisberger, 17 of 23 for 160 yards. Like we said, these guys, they play each other physical, so their numbers are going to be always halfway low. You might find one person that might have had a bigger day than the other, but it's not going to be by much. Right,
and we all talked about Bell earlier, 97 yards from 19 carries, no TDs. But when you establish that running game, that changes up their defense and how they look at you and more opportunities and more things that you can do offensively, different plays. Miller only had 2 catches. One was for that touchdown. So they pretty much keyed on him the whole game, basically because we were running. We're doing pretty good. And what I liked about Roethlisberger, there's a couple things that he did not just key on one receiver. He had a plethora of receivers, each going 50, 60 yards per receiver. So he's throwing the ball around, and it's opening up the defense. They don't know who is going to get the ball. And that was great. Not to mention that Roethlisberger did not hold on to the ball like he usually does, spreading the offense. And I do believe that this Haley offense kind of stuff I don't know if it's optimism or if it's actually, because we say it all the time, it's finally clicking, but we can say that, Big Tiz, because we got 2 wins under the belt.
Right.
And it looks like it's slowly getting in there.
Well, like you said, and then you also have our wide receiving core. Antonio Brown, 6 catches for 50 yards. And it wasn't big numbers, but the catches he made were like first down type catches, getting us out of trouble. So much kudos to him. And Swisham, special teams guy. He was one of the other special team guys. Phenomenal day. 4 attempts, 4 made field goals.
And an extra point.
Yeah.
And try not to jinx, Sean, but somebody put on Facebook, who do you think would be your MVP player? And this individual mentioned everybody from Roethlisberger to Bell to Timmons to Woodley to Palomalu, but he didn't list Sean Swisham, and I was kind of shocked because out of every game we played this year, he has been the only Steeler that's been on the money.
Yeah.
100% field goals made. Now I don't have the stats of how many actually attempts and how many he made. Obviously, he made all of his attempts. But when you have a field goal kicker in that stadium, and luckily he wasn't kicking into the open area.
Right.
But still, for him to be 100%, I don't know, you look around the NFL right now, how many kickers are out there 100%? I don't think there's any out there. Maybe one, maybe two. But you know what? Right now, Sean Swisham is my MVP.
Yeah, Swisham's been having a phenomenal year so far, and let's just hope that he continues. And
right.
If you look at the Ravens side of the ball, I know you said we didn't have a passer, over 200, but Flacco got 215, which it's not big numbers, but you know what? Like I said, it's a defensive struggle against the Steelers. Exactly.
That's right.
Ray Rice, 15 carries, 45 yards. And Torrey Smith, basically everybody was held in check. 3 catches, 61 yards. He had one long one that I remember, and
I think that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, really, it was like dink and dunk for him. I mean, the Steelers defense did a phenomenal job. I must give it to him. But there were some pieces missing to the Steelers defense if we go into our injuries. And
yeah,
we had our big man on campus, Jarvis
Jones, out with a concussion, and he's probable for next week's game against Oakland. Wheaton out, broken finger. Marcus Gilbert probable, and Kiesel, he's probable too with an abdomen injury. Abdomen around the stomach area.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah, stomach area. Yeah, so
yeah, like I said, these guys are some big pieces missing to the puzzle, and I hope that they can get well and get out there, especially Jarvis. Jarvis, you can do a lot of things. He's almost like that Palomalo type player, but playing a different position.
Yeah, splash plays. He comes up big. And the only thing that I've noticed about him, he's got to take more interior runs instead of trying to go around.
Right.
But we're working on that defense. We have the new defensive schemes where we got one guy down, 5 guys up, and even with the guys down, the quarterback doesn't know where they're coming from. But now it's even better. And Dick LeBeau's got a lot up his sleeve. Even though the defenses of old, I don't want to really say old, but what we're accustomed to that worked, this is going to be even better. So, you know what, folks? Be ready for some great defensive action this year.
Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. And one other player I would love to see, he's still on the injury list for right now, is Marcus Wheaton. This guy, when he starts to gel and it gets going for him, he is going to be phenomenal. That right there, like I said in other shows before, watch. This is Antonio Brown Jr.
Oh, absolutely. Just give him time, give him the ball, and it opens up the offense to more end arounds, more. I would like to see a flea flicker.
That'd be good. That'd be
When's
real
the
good.
last time you heard a term flea flicker?
But that goes along with blocking as well. So everything plays one off another.
Oh yeah, and I could like to see some more of those trick plays, the shuffle pass or the wildcat. What do we call it? What would if you had to name it for our Steeler offense? Because we don't want to go with the pistol or the shotgun or the wildcat. We got to come up with a name for our offense. What do you think? What do you think we should call that play?
That's a good question. You know what? If you guys can think about it, on Facebook or not, write us. Give us some ideas of what you think. We can come up with some new ideas for or a new sound for the Steelers offense.
And if we use it, you get a prize.
Exactly.
So we want to get everybody involved in this. Name that play. We'll call it. What do we call it? Name that play.
That sounds good to me.
Name that play. Make up your own name for this play that we can call, because wildcat sounds overused. We got to think of something cool, something unique. So we'll pick you send in your entries, we pick you get a prize. Big Tiz will come over your house and wash your windows and do your laundry.
I got my own to do. Hey, but guys, we're going to go straight to a commercial. When we come back, we're going to talk about Gone But Not Forgotten. It's going to be the 3 ex-Steelers that were there. We're going to keep pace, watching them and see how they're doing. And then we're going to pregame the Raider game coming up, Silver and Black.
Oh, boy.
Next up on Steeler Nation Live.
It's Spaghetti Sports Pub, located at 2246 East River Road. A perfect blend of Irish charm and Italian cuisine. From Calabria favorites like calamari to chicken French to the new signature dish like the Steel City Deli.
The Rothless Burger.
Everything is delicious and prepared fresh for you. They offer a full lineup of your favorite beverages with drink specials daily, and don't forget their $5 Monster Bomb.
Ice cold beer.
All day, every day. With 2 floors of seating and 20 high-def televisions, there's not a bad seat in the house to catch every minute of the NFL action.
Watch what you want.
McGinnis is the official home of the Rochester Steelers fan club.
Steelers!
So come on down to McGinnis Sports Pub, 2246 East River Road in Henrietta.
At Grease Lightning, we offer fast automotive service, specializing in oil changes and auto repairs. We offer convenient and comprehensive maintenance and repair service, fast and no appointment necessary. At Grease Lightning, we offer the best prices on top name brands. We get you in, out, and on your way, just like Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning is locally owned and operated. So come on down to 2061 Chiley Avenue here in Rochester and talk to Charles because he's in charge. You can also call Charles at 585-563-7939 or go to our website at mygreaselightning.com. Welcome back to Steel Nation Live. I'm Big O.
I'm Big Tiz.
And we're glad to have you. Welcome back after this commercial break. Right now, Big Tiz, we're going to talk about...
Gone but not forgotten. And like I said, this is where we get to talk about those 3 ex-Steelers that used to be Steelers. And one of them, we had an okay weekend this weekend, is Mike Wallace.
How did Mike Wallace do, Big Tiz?
5 catches, 76 yards, no touchdowns, playing for the Miami Dolphins. He's doing okay for them, but like I said, that's a lot of money to lay out there for the caliber of receiver they got.
Yeah, there should be a 1 in front of that 76. We see it. Other teams, we got people... We got wide receivers, $120, $140 yard receiving, throwing a couple touchdowns in there, and they're making less money than what Wallace is making. Granted, he is playing for the Dolphins, and he's got Tannehill to throw to him.
Well, but you know what? Wallace has still always had the hands issue.
Right.
That was his big thing.
Right.
So, and I don't know how good he's going to be in making that tough catch when you need it at 3rd down and 10. You need something going slicing across the middle. When you got Antonio Brown, you can see the hands on Antonio Brown.
Maybe what we should do is find out how many drop balls. Maybe we should add that in there.
That's true.
Because like with Mendenhall, we'll tell you how many fumbles he had. So I think we should add that stat: how many drop balls, how many times he threw to him, how many times he dropped them. We'll go with that. But I mean, mediocre for the number 1 wide receiver, 76 yards a game. That's not going to win you ball games, and it proved when Buffalo came to town.
Exactly.
And squished the fish, even though it was like 2 points or something like that. But, a loss is a loss, just like a win is a win. Doesn't matter what the point spread is or whatever. When you look at that win-loss column, all you see is wins and losses.
Exactly.
So,
we had Mendenhall was out there as well.
How did Mendenhall do?
Mendenhall, 13 carries, 22 yards. He had a touchdown. But like I said, it was a 1.7 yardage average.
Ooh.
I mean, he's not really doing much. I don't know how long his career is going to actually land in the NFL. He was a Steeler once, and I wanted to see him do well. But the fact is, he has fumble problems, and he's just not getting it done.
No. I think I had more yards per carry, and I didn't even play.
That's true. You probably had a beer in your hands too. But the thing about it is,
where'd that come from? But you're probably right, Big Tiz. Iron City Light, the official beer of the Pittsburgh Steelers. No, I'm just kidding. That's what I drink when I go to Pittsburgh. But hey, it's a great tasting beer. It's a nice lager.
Hey, but one of the
Tastes
last
great.
and the third Steelers that we had to talk about was Harrison.
Jerome Harrison?
Not Jerome Harrison this week. James Harrison.
You were close. You got the J there.
James Harrison.
I don't mean to bring that up. But
1 tackle. That's it.
What?
Yeah, 1 tackle. So this was a phenomenal force for the Steelers, and to see him sometimes see the positions he's in right now, and he's learning a new position because he's not playing where he was before, and 1 tackle here and there is not going to get it done. And like I said, we wish these guys the best, but as you can see right now, some are doing better than the others, but are they really?
I don't know. I think the main focus why we bring this up is to show the fans, just actually that these were great players at a time for the Steelers, and there's still a lot of grumbling, still a lot of finger pointing at why was Wallace released, why was Mendenhall released. There still have a few fans out there. But we just want to show, and Harrison as well, we just want to show the fans that, did we do the wrong thing when we let these guys go? Or is it time to move on? Like you say, we wish them nothing but the best. Is it time to move on and stop finger pointing and say we shoulda, coulda, but didn't?
Exactly.
And they're on other teams. And we just want to show that how would these players be helping us right now at this time?
Right.
Compared to what we do have and what our players at this time on our team wearing the black and gold are doing for us now.
Exactly.
That's why we're doing it. Not to rub anything in. No, we're not here to bash them. We just want to show our fans this is why the Steelers did what they did.
Okay, yeah, because there were some big, those were considered some big losses on the Steelers in the offseason. So we're just keeping tabs on them just to let fans know where they are and how they're doing right now in this NFL season. But you know what? The Steelers have got an important game this weekend as the Steelers fly out to Oakland.
West Coast
style.
Raiders.
Dog Raiders, everybody out there. The Steelers are coming to black and gold, and it's going to be a big game against the Oakland Raiders because no matter how the Raiders' record is, they give the Steelers fits.
They do. Like last year, we all remember that game, 34-31 loss. We had that game.
Yeah.
We had the game in hand, but we let it go.
I think Antonio Brown actually fumbled on a kickoff return or something like that in that game as well.
We were winning that game. We had it under control, and we lost in the fourth quarter. Long field goal, 34-31. It was very, very hard.
And of all people, Carson Palmer had a big day. Unbelievable. But
and
anyway.
he was stepping in, though, wasn't he? He was filling in he wasn't the starting quarterback. If I can remember. I don't believe he was a starting quarterback. I think he was a fill-in.
I'm not sure. I think he was the starter then, because when they brought him in as supposedly, I guess, not a savior for the franchise, but supposed to be their number one guy.
I'm going to have to look into that. But you know what, folks? Let's not take for granted their 2-4 record. They're bottom of the division, just as we are.
Right.
Just like we don't want people to take us for granted. And the only thing that doesn't worry me, but one of the things that benefits them is they're coming off their bye week, just like we came off of our bye week, and we started that winning streak, the 2-game winning streak. You know what we're talking about.
Right.
So and plus, they were in the same situation as we were. Injuries, players, the starters not playing, and there's a reason why they were 2-4. The same thing with us. You come off a bye week. You had that week to rest.
Right.
And so now they're a healthy Raiders team, just like we're a healthy Steeler team to a certain extent. What do you think that we're going to have to do, Big Tiz? I don't want to say we're compared to the similarities, just like how we are with the Ravens. What do you think? What are your keys to victory, is what I'm basically saying, to defeat these Oakland Raiders?
Well, one of the things is, just like we had to do against the Ravens, you got to make them a one-dimensional team. And right now, with a younger quarterback that they have right now in the midst, you make them a younger team by stopping the run. And that starts with shutting down Darren McFadden. Darren McFadden is supposedly their main man on offense. He's not really like a receiving threat as much. He's more like a runner. So if we can control him and keep him shut down, and then put that pressure on Pryor. If you put that pressure and force him into erratic throws, because he will throw a couple picks a game. I almost equate him to the same equivalence as the New York Jets quarterback we just played,
Geno.
So if we can put him in the same type of situations, we should be able to get some easy picks, but the pressure has to come.
Right. From what I'm looking at, it's all in favor of us on paper.
Right.
Now, the Raiders are dead last, ranked 32 in passing yards. So if we contain Reese, McFadden, or Rashad Jennings, whoever they have in the backfield, if we can stop the run, guarantee you, we're going to stop the pass.
Right.
Now, when it comes to their defense, they have been allowing opposing teams at least 99 yards per rushing a game. And listen to this, folks. They're averaging, the defense is giving up 240 plus yards passing. Now, we're either going to have a field day on the ground or a field day in the air, which is going to bring to light this Todd Haley offense with the dink and dunk, as you call it, Big Tiz.
Yep.
Not to be confused with Dunkin' Donuts, the dink and dunk. even though Dunkin' Donuts is, I love Dunkin' Donuts.
Phenomenal.
Running on Dunkin'. But anyways, don't want to get too far off base here. That if we can establish the run game, and we're going to force the corners in, we're going to force the linebackers in, and that's good all day for Antonio Brown and Sanders. I almost said Sanders Tisdale. But Sanders and Brown are going to have a huge... Also Miller. And what I love about this Derek Moy, he's got the height. I would like to say he's got the hands, but after Sunday's game where he dropped that easy touchdown, you know what? People are not going to key on him, and I expect him to have a big day as well. Fantasy guys out there, you got to start Brown, you got to start Sanders. And for a sleeper pick, if you're desperate and you need a wide receiver, I would pick up Derek Moy. I guarantee nobody has him. I think maybe 0.001% has him on their team.
Yeah,
he's going to be huge because they're going to be keying on Brown and Sanders.
Yeah, and this guy's a taller receiver, so he makes a viable threat down there near the goal line like he was, against the Ravens. But, he dropped it, and I do believe he's a good receiver, just the fact that he dropped it. And Antonio Brown just dropped a touchdown against the Jets last week.
It happens.
So, yeah. So, like I said, get his head straight, get him back in the game, get him involved back in the offense. This guy could be a threat, especially down near the goal line with that height. And that's one of the other keys, I think, to victory for the Steelers is that the Steelers have to, when they're in close like that, they have to finish drives.
Yeah.
3 points, yes. Don't get me wrong. If the point is there and you have to get it, get it. But the thing about it is, finish with touchdown drives. If you're in close like that, finish.
Yeah, you have to put 7 on the board when you're in the red zone. We're getting better with that. The offense is opening up more, and with the rushing attack that we have now with Le'Veon Bell, this is going to open up wide. Don't forget about Felix Jones, Jonathan Dwyer. Don't forget about those guys. All right, let's establish a run. Let's get those trick plays in there.
Exactly.
We'll do a shuffle pass, whatever it takes. The short screen bubbles. I think what I feel are the key to success, and we say this all the time, let's establish our running game to get points on the board. We don't want to play catch up. We want to play the game to win it. We want them to try and come back. And we can do that by stopping the run and creating turnovers.
Right.
Let's force
and pressure on the quarterback as well.
Let's force Terrell Pryor to throw those bad balls. Let's get some interceptions. Let's knock McFadden around the back. Jennings. Let's cause some fumbles. Let's get some turnovers. I predict the Steelers will have 4 turnovers this game.
Off of them.
Yes. I hope we don't turn the ball over. But I'm predicting a 4 turnover game. We're going to create 4 turnovers on defense.
Exactly.
I believe 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles.
And I really do hope it goes that way. And the Steelers, right now they are playing like they should be able to do that. And I hope it goes that way. And if they do the keys that we talked about, stopping the run, creating turnovers, and pressure.
Don't forget McFadden killed us last game we played with that 61-yard touchdown run up the middle. We have to defend the middle. We have to force them outside.
Right.
Let them run outside. It's fine. But it's when we get penetration up the middle and we have that whole open area in the middle because they send the wide receivers out deep in post patterns. You got that center middle and then trying to catch up and trying to create that, the space to make the tackle. It's very hard. And these running backs, McFadden and Rashard Jennings and Marcel Reese, are huge.
Exactly.
And fast.
And come on, let's make the series a little bit more even. I mean, the Raiders are actually leading this series 11-9, so let's make it 11-10 this weekend.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time we beat them in Oakland.
Right.
We had a chance last year, but we squandered our lead. We can't do that anymore. So, I believe we're going to win this game. You got a score? Pick this.
I'm hoping of a score of like 28-10 Steelers. Finally getting the offense gelling, starting to use that run game a little more. Trick plays are going to start coming out more. And I can see the Steelers, with the dink and dunk type offense. I can't really see the Raiders giving them too many issues. But the fact is, hold on to the ball. That's a key. What caused us problems last time against the Raiders. If we do that and keep our turnovers that we turn the ball over down or to none.
Yeah.
The Steelers have a great chance of really opening this game up and winning finally a big win.
Yeah, I say 27-13. I think our defense is going to stand tall, and our offense is going to do a great job. And I would like to say more points in offense, but I think we're going to get to a time in the game where we're just going to slow things down, control the clock, and run the ball. So that's why 27 is a pretty good number. 13 is pretty good for Oakland.
Right.
So you said 28-10. I say 27-13. I think we're right around the same idea, same score. So I think we might be onto something, Big Tiz.
Hey, there you have it. Our pregame thoughts for the Steelers versus the Oakland Raiders. And we're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we're going to give you our final thoughts of the show for the night and what we see and what positions we see the Steelers starting to get themselves into. Next up on Steeler Nation Live.
4-of-a-kind consignment and resale, Jeromesville, Ohio. Everyone knows everybody. Everyone calls your friend. You don't need an invitation. Just kick off your shoes and come on in. At 4-of-a-kind consignment and resale, they have antiques, vintage items, electric items, clothing, and housewares. 4-of-a-kind consignment and resale is a 4-generation family-owned establishment that also has Muffler & More, Spade Web Design and Publishing, and Spade Enterprises, a business that loves and cares about the community. Even though they are in Ohio, 4-of-a-kind consignment and resale has a ton of Steeler items for sale now and even more during the season. They're closed on Mondays, but they're open Tuesday through Sundays. Call Heidi. Her phone number is 567-203-7858. That's Heidi at 567-203-7858. Or look for her on the web at spadeinc.com/4oak.html. They ship everywhere. Heckle and Jekyll sports cards, collectibles, and video games. Open 7 days a week here in Rochester, New York. Mike has all kinds of individual cards and packs. Baseball, football, basketball, hockey, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, just to name a few. Mike also has the widest variety of video games too, from Sega Genesis to Wii to PlayStation to Nintendo, Game Boy Color Advance, and so on. Mike has all the old school games you can't rent or buy anymore. Mike also has a great selection of autographed memorabilia, sports jerseys, hats, 8x10s signed by your professional athletes for you to buy. He also has video game, Yu-Gi-Oh, and poker tournaments, Beanie Babies, Bratz dolls, sports figures, and more. Mike runs the show 7 days a week. Call Mike, 585-889-9130. That's 585-889-9130. Folks, if you're not in Rochester and you're looking for that hard-to-buy memorabilia, call Mike or look him up on the web at heckjack@rochester.rr.com. Once again, folks, that's heckjack@rochester.rr.com. But if you are in Rochester, you can go down to Chile Avenue, that's 3240 in the Chile Paul Village. Big O from Steeler Nation Live, future weather forecast for this upcoming game, October 27th, where the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Oakland, California to face the Oakland Raiders. Well, folks, this is a great day for football. The high is going to be in the mid-70s with the low in the low 50s. Sunshine, partly cloudy, and 0 chance of precipitation. So it's going to be a great day for football and great day for another Pittsburgh Steeler win. This is Big O from Steeler Nation Live for your future weather forecast. Welcome back to Steeler Nation Live. I'm Big O.
I'm Big Tiz.
Cooler than the other side of the pillow, Big
right.
Tiz.
That's right.
And right now is a part of the show where we give our final thoughts. And Big Tiz is the man. Big Tiz always goes first. Big Tiz, lay it on us.
I'm fired up tonight, and one thing I want to say is I'm proud of my black and gold. I mean, they didn't quit. These guys were down in a big hole, 0-4. Never been like that for the Steelers since the 60s. And these guys are making a push right now to try to dig out of that hole. Nobody else got us in that hole but ourselves. And so now we're fighting to get out of that hole. One thing I will say about the Steelers is they're starting to become around, just like that ball coming around, getting that unit and that cohesiveness around with everybody else. There's some guys out there with injuries, such as Jarvis Jones and Marcus Wheaton, different guys like that. But you know what? The Steelers are starting to round that corner, and I can see it, and a lot of you guys out there can see it. One thing about the black and gold, we are resilient. We're a resilient club, and we'll always keep pushing. I can see the Steelers starting to get out of this basement and possibly even coming to a 4-4 record, which is huge for the Steelers. And right now, while the season is still early, a 4-4 record in our division right now is not too bad. That can possibly get us in the second or third position, which we're trying to get into. But the Steelers have to keep and continue to win. Right now, the dink and dunk type offense that they're running right now is the best thing right now to keep Ben upright. So let's keep running that. And if we do and keep our turnovers down, the Steelers are on a great path to success. So one thing I can say about my Steelers, you're doing it the right way. So I'm here tonight, Big Tiz on Steeler Nation Live, saying, let's go for it, black and gold.
Well, how can you do better than that? Won't try. I'll just give you my opinion. Big Tiz knows what he's talking about. And folks, let me get back to where I started a couple games ago. Ale. Talking about ale. Not the beer, which I would love right now. Ice cold. But anyways, ale. A, accountability. We're starting to be accountable for our actions and our mistakes, and we're learning from them, and then we're just taking that. Like I said, we're learning from our mistakes, and we're trying not to make them anymore.
Exactly.
L, leadership. Finally, we're starting to get players out there who've taken lead roles in getting the team together and doing some new plays, staying patient, and not rushing anything, and not having those knee-jerk reactions, and trying to do some crazy stuff and try to overcome bad things. E, execution. We're starting to we're developing to this Haley offense. We always say Haley offense, even though Ben's leading it. But now we're starting to see bigger and better things. Not bigger in size, but bigger plays that happen after the play is started. So that's what I mean by bigger plays. And we're starting to get more people involved, more receivers involved, more running backs, tight ends involved. And we're starting to evolve on this offense that we used to do before when we had our winning ways. Slow and steady wins the race. And we all know the torso and the hair story. I read to my kids all the time. In fact, they read it back to me. But starting off slow at 0-4 is not the way you want to start your season. But you can either learn from it or run from it and throw in the towel. And that's not what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing or have been doing. I know the record is 2-4, but we're slowly getting to where we want to be. Folks, there's 10 games left of the season to make our 12-4 record. Let's just take it one game at a time. We won those 2 games. That's great. Now we have to focus on the Raiders. We have the Patriots after that. We have the Browns after that. We have the Ravens after that. We have the Lions and the Bills. But you know what? That's in the future. We need to focus one game at a time. And if we do that, folks, we're going to win every game for the rest of the season. Let's not dwell on the past. Let's focus on the future. And let's take it one game at a time. But in closing, before we go, Big Tiz, I just want to reiterate on Breast Cancer Awareness Month for October. The crucial catch, ladies, please, for yourself, for your families, for your children, please go get checked. Even if you feel that you're healthy or you have no cancer in your family. We all know somebody who's been through it, and we don't want you to go through it. Especially if you're around the age of 40 or even 38 or whatever. Please, go get checked. If not for you, but for the people who love you.
There you go. Well said, Big O. And you know what? Another fantastic show in the books. So when we see you next week on Steeler Nation Live, I'm Big Tiz.
I'm Big O.
All right, let's come back with a win next week. Steeler Nation Live.
You know, it is a storm, man. Yeah. The name of the future. And we the name of the future. We the name of the future. And we the name of the future. Hey. Yeah. Shout out to the Big Teds, man. And Big O. It's still a nation, man. Yeah. Big Ted. Big O. You know what it is, man. It's still a nation, man. Big O. Yeah. Big O. Every night on Monday night, man. Hey. 7 to 8 on Monday night. Big O. Big Teds. And it's a stump. And this is still a nation. Big Teds. Big O. It's Big Teds. Big O. Still a nation. Big Teds. Big O. Big Teds. Big O. It's still a nation, man. Yeah. This is stump. Big O. Yeah, I had to say it was a stump, man. You know. Cause you know, it is a stump, man. Yeah. Big Teds. Big O. Big Teds. Yeah.